Okay, so this video is to showcase the compromise and the competitive integrity of the first beta tournament in Marvel Rivals that started yesterday, Saturday the 14th of December. We as a team over here at Eternals, we went 0-10. We scored not a single point in the games, which is really embarrassing. And the entire time it felt really overwhelming as to why we couldn't score any points, and it didn't really make a lot of sense. So this is going to showcase something that could have been abused. By who is very hard to say, but it is something that we were informed of, and we looked into it, and this is something that could have potentially compromised the integrity of this tournament and could for future tournaments if it is not addressed. Especially since there is a monthly tournament system in this game. Granted, that was the beta tournament. There are going to be some mishaps, but this is a pretty big one. So once our 10 games wrapped up, we had somebody that was in our main Eternals chat over on Twitch that is a part of the Eternals team, previous CEO, a previous owner, and we were informed by him that he was able to spectate our games while we played, which he was doing. Mind you, he was not in our Discord call. So I will attempt to do this with a tournament game to kind of show you how it's done. Nope, not gallery. Sometimes this is weird. History. Okay, let's go into our first one. Okay, I had scored a 20 kill in the first tournament game, and we still lost. This was the stats, and this was the ban picks. We started off a little rough here, but I believe if I play this, it should be an exact replica of, yeah, this is how it looks from a spectator perspective when you're watching. So look, right here, if you are a spectator, you can see what the enemy team is picking, who they're picking right here. You can see both teams. This is exactly how it works. So if you have somebody in your call as on your team that is spectating, you can see who the enemy team prefers to play as long as they pick it, which obviously without the knowledge that this is even possible, we're gonna choose our characters that we want to play, which will show, oh hey, this is who this team wants to play, let's ban their characters so they're not comfortable. And also, depending on who we pick, the other team can adjust their team off the gate before it even starts after the ban and save phase. So it allows people to see what the other team is running and then counter it basically to the best of their ability if they know how to counter it. So this is kind of a big deal, because if this is what teams were doing during the tournament, whether it happened or not, it's possible. And it will allow teams to have an advantage, specifically because they have basically the coach role in the faction that is just in the call spectating. None of them are streaming, so it's hard to figure it out, and they're just doing this and they're watching. Now they can adjust right here, since there's all the bans. They say that they banned like Thor and Hela. Now we can't have that team up, and they can play against us however they force us to play, basically. But I feel like this could be addressed. And then as well, from here, look, I can free cam, and then I can fly across the map through the walls and can tell basically my team where enemies are when they're alone, who to focus, basically being a team leader from the fucking Shadow Realm basically. Like, I can sit right here and be like, okay, Groot's on point. He's the only one on point. You can push it now, type thing. Okay, Moon Knight's walking up behind. Both healers are right behind Groot. Other DPS, other tank are a mile away. You can push right now. You know, I could do that from a spectator position because this is exactly how the spectate works. See, now, if my team over here, if I was to say, okay, only 2 healers, a DPS, and a tank are here, you could push really, really hard and kill the healers. I could say that. And then I could say, okay, Strange Portal just appeared. Everyone's here now. You know, I could do this in the middle of a tournament. I could just sit here and communicate to my team who's where. I could say main lane is free right now, right side or left side is free, and we could just walk up the left side and have somebody jump on the point. All right, whole team turned around. You know, you can do this in the tournament. This was possible for people to do, and I'm sure some players and even high ranked levels that this is going on, and it's I borderline say that it kind of ruins the competitive integrity of the game. So with that information being said, I hope Marvel Rivals ends up seeing this and tries to come up with a way to maybe change something about the spectate feature, because this is kind of broken. If I can just tell you that, you know, Moon Knight's over here alone, you could swing him. You know, I could have told myself right here that I could have dropped on Moon Knight and killed him because no one else was there. You know, like, all because I can just free cam around the map, but I can still teleport around to the enemy's POV and tell you where their healers are, tell you where their DPS are, so you can just target them, which kind of makes it OP, you know, like. And obviously not every team that we went up against and not every team in the tournament knows about this, because we had no idea. And I'm sure a lot of the lower level teams had no idea this was possible either. But I think a lot of players at the high rank and a lot of players like up in Diamond Plus and a lot of the decent teams at least know that there's something like this that can happen. Whether they abuse it or not is up to not me, but I believe that there was more than likely some of this going on where they were just able to call out things that should not have been able to be called out just because they basically had an extra set of eyes that we could not get rid of. So that's where I'm at. I just thought I would bring this to light because this is definitely something that needs to be addressed before it does get abused. And if you were abusing this and you see this video, it was a beta tournament, but I don't condone your actions. But yeah, so hope Marvel Rivals gets a hold of this and do with it what you will. Whether you change the feature or not is completely up to the game developers. But yeah, I think that's gonna have to wrap this up. I just thought I would bring it to light and kind of just show what I think was happening. And yeah, that's pretty much it.